Hello everyone and welcome to this video. So this is the last video of our Matplotlib series and like I usually do, we're going to be doing a project, okay? So the project results will look like this. So this is the project I was thinking we could work on. So it's like the project, well, not really project, the thing we did in the previous video, except we're going to add some more like add one more section and customize it a bit more. I didn't tell you how to do this in the previous video. Like you could even change the style of the font and you can make it a bit neater. So I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So yeah, let's start. Okay, so here I am. So this is where we were last time. So we looked at the different styles in Matplotlib. So like there was a Seaborn white grid style, a Seaborn style, which I like the best. I'm gonna be using that. There was a ggplot styles, and there are loads of other styles, about 20, I guess. So yeah, you can look at those again if you like. I'll put the link for that video too. So I'm not going to be doing the project in this video. So not in this video, sorry. I'm not going to be doing it in this notebook. I'm going to make a separate notebook. Okay, so I'm going to say, so basically, so what I was going to call this was heart disease analysis, because we're going to be using, let me just get it up. We're going to be using this data frame. Obviously, it has loads more lines, so don't worry about that. Yeah, we're going to be working on that. So, new Python 3. So I'm just going to call this heart disease analysis. Yeah, so heart disease analysis. So even though that's the heading, over here for the heading, I'm going to put markdown. So even though you saw the heading heart disease analysis, here I'm going to put in Matplotlib in action, because we will be seeing a bit more of Matplotlib. So the most important thing you need to do is you need to make sure, like we did at the start of this big notebook, we have to do this. So make sure our plots appear within Jupyter Notebook and import all the needed libraries. So we're not going to be using NumPy, but I'm going to import it anyway, so you guys have an idea that you should be importing it, even if you don't need it. Okay? So yeah, so we're gonna put the percentage sign if you are in Jupyter Notebook, otherwise you don't need to. So I'm gonna say matplotlib inline. So let's just write the comment here again. So whoops, there we go. So here we need to make sure plots appear within Jupyter Notebooks. Okay, so within Jupyter Notebook actually, and then you need to import all the needed libraries. So how do we do that? Again, it's very easy. So import matplotlib as, so not matplotlib only, so matplotlib.pyplot as plt, because we only need pyplot. Import numpy as np, even though we won't be using it, and import pandas as pd. And then another important thing, well, it's not that important, but so in the previous video I told you we learned about styles. So what I'd recommend you is if you want all your plots to be the same style, then I'd recommend you to set the style at the top. So you need to say plt dot style dot use. So the style I'm going to use is the Seaborn style. So that's the default style. Okay, so what have we done here? Basically, what we've done is we have set the plot style. Okay, so nothing, no errors there. So yeah, we are going to be using this, but we're gonna add 2 axes instead of 1, and we're gonna give each axis some sort of different purpose. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we are going to have to import and get everything ready for our project. So we're gonna have to import this heart disease.csv. Okay, so I'm gonna say heart disease is equal to pd.read CSV. So since it's called heart disease.csv, there you go. So we're going to import the CSV file, and then we're going to look at heart disease.head. Okay. We don't want to view all of it because it's got like 343 lines, I think. I'm not sure. I don't remember. So yeah, that's the head. And just like in the well, not the previous video, the video before that, we're going to create an over 50 because we're only going to analyze if people over 50 have heart disease. So over 50 is equal to heart disease dot cs so not heart disease, sorry, not heart disease dot, and so heart disease, and then we have to index to heart disease because we're going to be taking out the ones that are over 50. So we're going to be using Boolean values for this. So age greater than 50. So now it's going to pick out the ones that have the age column over 50, and then we're going to say over 50 dot head. There are actually quite a lot. It's not much difference from 300. It's got about 250, but don't worry about that. So now we've got over 50. You can see here that they're over 50. That's the point of it. So now that we have got our heart disease thing ready, we can actually start to create our plot now. Okay, so first, so the first axis will have the cholesterol levels, so cholesterol, and the second one will have dalach, which means heartbeat. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it doesn't really matter right now. We're just focusing on this. So we're going to create a subplot of cholesterol, age, and dalach. Okay, so well, not really just a subplot. We're going to create a whole figure. Okay, so remember, so fig, so that's the figure that holds the axes that we're going to create in a minute. So we only have one axis, so axis 0 and we have 2 axes actually. So here are 2 axes that we've created, and then we need to say is equal to plt dot subplot, and then n rows is equal to 2, and then we need to put in our comma, and n cols is equal to 1 because I want to kind of sort of stack both the axes on top of each other. And then we're going to say fig size is equal to 10 by 12. That I found that size right for me, so I just put that size down. You don't have to, I just like that size. So now we should probably have these two empty plots, okay? And they're in Seaborn style, okay? So we've got those two empty plots now. So the first thing we need to do is we need to add data to axis 0. So add data to ax 0. So that first one's going to be the cholesterol levels. Okay? So so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say I forgot what I was going to do again. So we need to say scatter is equal to ax 0 dot scatter. So I'm going to create a scatter graph because it looks quite cool. So I'm going to say x is equal to over 50 age, and then the data on the y-axis will be over 50 cholesterol levels, or chol, or col. I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's fine. So then we need to put the colors. So for now, we're not going to be using any color maps. We're just going to put a color for now. So our color is equal to over 50 sex. So that should, it should appear black and white now. Okay. So there you see, first one's filled up, black and white. But we need to add more things to it. So we need to customize that, add a title and an X label and a Y label. Okay, so here we're going to write customize ax 0. So again, we're going to be using the dot set method. So dot set. So the title of that axis, so the title, I'm going to call it cholesterol levels. I just spelled that wrong, didn't I? Cholesterol levels. And then the X label is equal to age, and the Y label is equal to cholesterol. Okay. There you go. Let's put the T there. So now that should have an X label and a Y label. Okay. So don't worry about this text here. We're going to be putting the semicolon at the end. So there we go. We've got that now. And now the first thing, yeah. So we've done that now. So the thing we have to do now is we need to add a legend. So remember, a legend kind of identifies which dot means which. Okay, so here I'm going to write, well, so here I'm going to write add a legend to ax 0. Okay, because we are adding a legend. No. Okay, sorry. So again, we need to say ax 0 dot legend, and this is actually quite different. So remember, we need to sort of not explode, sorry. We have to sort of like take the elements out of scatter dot legend elements. So this is the one that will return a list of the elements in our scatter, and then the title of it is going to be equal to the word sex. So you know what sex is. So there we go, we have our legend here now. So then what we need to do is we are going to want to add some sort of mean line or average line. I'm going to call it a mean line. So add a mean line, or you can call it horizontal line. I don't really care. So x0 dot x line. So what the y? So the y is equal to over 50 cholesterol, and then dot mean, because since it's a mean line, it has to have dot mean at the end because we want to find the average. And then we're going to say line style is equal to, by default it's just a normal straight line, but I want a dashed line, so I'm going to put in speech marks or quotations, 2 dashes. 1 dash means 1 straight line, 2 dashes means a dashed line. Okay, so now you can see that dashed line. So basically now we need to just do the same for axis axis 1. Okay, so we can literally just copy and paste that, and we'll also want to do that. So we're going to want to do that. So yeah, so the text isn't going to not appear because there's still another reference. Okay, so don't worry about that. We are going to change that. So I'm going to change all of these comments to x1, and then so we're going to put in thalach instead. So we're going to do the heartbeat this time. So thalach or talak, I don't really know what it is. So that's the data now. So what I'm going to call this, I'm going to call it max heartbeat levels. Okay, max heartbeat levels, and I'm just going to put it like that. So, and then the Y label should be max heartbeat, and yeah, so here we want to calculate the mean of thalach, and yeah, that should be pretty good. We'll just put this semicolon there. Whoops. Okay, so we plotted the same data on different ones. So we need to plot all of this on axis 1. There we go. So now we got 2 different plots here. So the first thing I want to do is I want to customize it a little by changing the Cmap up a bit. Okay, so my Cmap, I'm going to change the Cmap to a bluey green. So that is the winter Cmap. So we looked at Cmaps in the previous video. They're also called color maps. Cmap's just like an abbreviation for it, but I like calling it Cmaps. So yeah, we can change the color map. So we do that where we add the data. So right after the color, we need to say Cmap is equal to, and I'm going to use the winter Cmap because that's nice. That's a nice sort of bluey green, and I like that color. And then we can do that over here too. So I'm going to do that quickly. So Cmap is equal to winter. And now you can see it's a nice bluey green. So if you notice, you can see that we've got this sort of like spare gap here. We don't really need that. It looks sort of ugly. So I'm going to cut off those gaps. So we need to add an axis limit so it doesn't look that bad. Okay, so I'm going to do that after we customize it. So here I'm going to write change axis 0 x-axis limits. because we only need to change the limits for the x-axis because the y is already cleanly cut off. So we need to change those limits. So I'm going to say x0 dot set xlim, so x limit. I'm going to set it to 50, 80, and that should do the trick for the first one. So now you can see it's got clean cut off edges. And then we need to fix this one as well. Okay, so we need to fix this one as well. So for this one, we have to change the x and y axes limits because both the x and y are sort of uneven. So we're going to again do that after customizing. So here I'm going to write change x1, x and y axes limits. Okay, so I'm going to say x1 dot set xlim first. So again, I'm going to set that to 50 to 80 for the x-axis, and then for the y-axis, so that's going to be x1 dot set ylim now. So for that, I'm going to put 60 by 200. And now the edges should be cleanly cut off, and there's not much of a difference. You can't really see much of a difference, and it looks neat as well. So there's also another thing you can do. You can change the font size and font weight, but you can only do that to the title. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to add the title at the bottom. Okay, so we need to add the title to the whole of the figure. So here I'm going to write add a title to the figure. So for some reason the title all the way at the top is called a subtitle. I don't know why it's called a subtitle. Maybe it means super title, but it's just called that. So I'm gonna call this heart disease analysis because the whole point of it was to be something related to heart disease analysis. I'm gonna say the font size. I'm gonna set it to 18. And then I'm going to set the font weight. So you can set it to bold or underlined, but I like light because it looks quite nice. It's giving us an error. What is it? Text object has okay. It's gonna give you a huge error there if you don't spell it correctly. So you have to spell it correctly there. So font size. There we go. So now you can see you've got a nice title there, and there we go. So now it's all nice and neat. So now what we need to do is we need to save the figure. So like save it into a picture, and I'm going to put that picture into my images file. So this is where we had our sample plot in the second video of this series. Yes, so we saved it. So what we can do is we can view our figure if we like now. So that's the whole figure itself. And we can save the figure. So we're going to say fig dot save fig. So it's going to save as an image. So I'm going to save this in images, and I'm going to call this heart disease analysis. And yeah, okay. So now if we go back to now we can see there's a heart disease analysis, and there we go, we've got our lovely image. Okay, it's quite nice. So yeah, that's what I wanted to do in this video. That was actually a project. So now you can see if we if we try to compare it with this image, it looks exactly the same. So this image right there. Okay, so you can actually see the difference now. Well, not the difference, it looks exactly the same. So I'm going to be putting the link for this uh sort of anatomy of a matplotlib plot with code, so you can see which parts are for which parts for, and you can use it for reference too. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching this series. So next up is scikit-learn. So we're going to be learning about scikit-learn in the next series. And yeah, so yeah, if you have any comments or doubts, please comment them in the comment section below, and I will be happy to answer your questions. And yeah, I guess that's the end of this video. Bye!